So here we have very basic, very delicious base for your meal. This is tuna fish in water, white tuna fish albacore, mixed with 5% Greek yogurt, grated fresh garlic, salt and pepper, and I've just had this sitting in the refrigerator for, oh, you can hear the refrigerator door open. My refrigerator is yelling at me. I've had this sitting in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my favorite brand of pasta, and I am going to cook that pasta. It's really convenient to have one of these flexible kitchen faucets. It just makes everything easier, because this is a Le Creuset pan, and they are wonderful, but they are very, very heavy. So not having to carry everything around is just a big bonus. Voila. Okay. All right. So I like penne. It's nice that the tuna kind of gets inside of the pasta and it sticks to the outside, and they're all in kind of manageable bites. Whereas if you have angel hair, which I also love, or spaghetti or linguine or a long pasta like that, the taste is good and it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of a mess. So if you're making dinner and you don't have a lot of time, or let's say you have kids and you're worried about them getting things all over themselves, penne might be an easier solution. But of course, people, whether they're children or not, will find ways to make a mess regardless. So I am going to let this boil. And while I do that, I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm going to grab one of these big old bowls, because I just love having a nice big bowl to eat my pasta out of. And then I'm going to go into my refrigerator and look for the butter, which appears to be missing. I've got some really great Kerrygold spreadable butter in here. Absolutely love it. It tastes so fresh. We've been to Ireland twice. We've been to Dublin and one or two other places, and we really, really love it. And we enjoyed the butter while we were there. And so whenever we eat this butter, it just kind of reminds us of our trip. And it tastes fresh and delicious, so why not, right? I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. I'm done with the butter. I've got maybe about a tablespoon total, right? I'm going to take maybe a third of what I have. So this is one small can of tuna. It's this size. So how many ounces is this? Okay, so this is 5 ounces of tuna. And earlier today, I opened this. I put it in that Greek yogurt that I let sit to room temperature first. Mixed it together, added a little olive oil. I forgot to mention that earlier. I added a little olive oil, grated garlic, salt, and pepper, and you get this really delicious mix. And it's nice, especially, if you're like me and you don't love mayonnaise. I don't really mind mayo and tuna, but I don't love it generally. So you've got this nice option. And also it's nice because for me, I'll buy these big containers of Greek yogurt, and I love Greek yogurt. My husband does too, and we eat it. But what ends up happening is sometimes half the container will go bad because we haven't used it on everything. So I like to try to, find other ways to use it so we don't waste. But anyway, I'm going to take about a third of that. So maybe a little bit, well, maybe a little more, maybe like 2 ounces worth of tuna. And I'll leave the rest for some other time. And I'll put this back in the refrigerator. This will keep for maybe 2 days, maybe 3. You can stretch it to. I don't like to stretch it too much, but definitely for today and tomorrow, you'll have some nice fresh tuna. Okay, so I've already put salt, pepper, garlic. We've got the butter. So yeah, this is kind of a decadent treat. And there is one other thing that we just cannot forget, and it's hello, Parmesan cheese, shredded. Woohoo! And for a little extra flavor, and so we can pretend it's somewhat healthy, I've got some chopped up red onions, which I think make everything taste better. Let's check on. See, it's nice. It's already starting. It's getting close to boiling already. Again, I can't say enough about this pan. I boil things in it. You can deep fry things in this Dutch oven. You can sear things. You know, it gets really hot, and we've seared chicken in here. I have also made a risotto in here. I've used this to make chicken and rice in the oven, and it was so just juicy and delicious, and it cooked slowly. This big like enamel coated cast iron pot is so durable, and just everything cooks evenly. The temperature gets spread around the pan evenly. It's wonderful. I like the color. It comes in every color imaginable. They're all bright. Of course, it's not cheap. You're going to be splurging if you use something like this, or if you decide to buy something like this. And there are some other brands that I like that are less expensive. Can't find them. So I'm not a name brand person. I don't need to have the latest and greatest thing that you see on social. But I have to say that the Le Creuset or Le Creuset, or however you want to pronounce it, they do the job. And if you're like me and you like to entertain for holidays and you need something that acts like an oven but isn't the oven because you only have one oven, this is your friend. Now when I dump in the penne, I'm probably going to use about half the box. I'm not going to eat half the box myself, although I will be tempted to. But I always think it's nice to have a little bit left over for later if you get hungry, or my husband gets home and he decides to eat and he just wants something easy. It's in the fridge, and this will also keep for a day or two. And again, it's tuna. You don't want to keep it in the refrigerator forever, even if it's not going to make you sick. You just might not like the smell of it. So proceed with caution. While we wait, this is Friday. Say hi, Fry. She looks bored, but she knows that I'm cooking, and she will probably try to get some. I will give her plain pasta, but I wouldn't give her the tuna, only because I've already put salt and pepper in it, and pepper especially is not good for dogs, so she won't be receiving any of that, but we might give her a plain piece of pasta, because she's a good girl. And she collects washcloths, and she likes to eat greenies, or just look at them for hours and hours before she eats them. So that's Friday. And this is Pep. And he's very, very nice. Say hi, Pep. Hello. And it sounds like our water is finally boiling. Boy, this must be as exciting as watching water boil. Okay. Something looks a little strange, so pull that out. Okay, so the directions on the box say 11 or 12 minutes. Everyone loves al dente, and I don't want my pasta mushy, but I don't like it when it's a little just too firm. So I'm gonna cook it the full 12 minutes, maybe give it even a few extra seconds. So 12 minutes from now, let's say. I could show you my kitchen while we wait. This is my makeshift Keurig stand. We don't like to use these too often, but it's nice to have on hand. We've got the dueling single serve Keurig and the Cuisinart 12 cup brewer. Coffee is important in this family, so we like to have both. The Keurig is really more for when we have guests, so they can make coffee whenever they like. I know that when I'm staying at someone's house, I like to have access to coffee at all times. And so I like to do that, kind of the golden rule, have a little bit of empathy about how someone might be feeling if they're dying for a cup of coffee. These OXO containers are fantastic. I have greenies in these. I also use these, you know, I use more of them for human food and for storage when I meal prep during the week. Maybe we'll make some meal prep videos. Here's one. Right at the top, you know, press down and then boom, everything's sealed in. So I'm going to try to use those more. Stir the pasta. It's very important to stir the pasta along the way so it doesn't stick together. I'm pretty sure I showed you that I salted the water earlier. Salt definitely does add flavor to pasta. What I used to do when I was younger is I would put in some olive oil too. But my aunt told me that that does absolutely nothing, so I stopped doing it, and everything has since still been fine. So you don't need the oil to boil your pasta to keep it from sticking together, because it'll take care of itself if you just stir it occasionally. I've got about 7.5 minutes left. I'm going to empty out the sink and clean it while we wait. Create a channel and, you know, you get 3 or 4 viewers, and then all of a sudden, you know, you want to look better and you want to brand yourself a certain way. But for right now, we can enjoy the mess, the reality that is, you know, what it's like to actually just live as a human being. And, you know, so that's clean enough for me. I don't know. I'm a human being, but yeah, I should probably make sure this sink is okay. I'm not going to be pouring anything directly into the sink, but we'll have this. But what we can do, and maybe we won't need to use it at all, so I will take this device. I don't think this is actually a pasta strainer or puller. I don't know if this was meant for dumplings or pierogies, but I will be able to pull some out, you see, when it's ready, and then I could dump it either in here if I think it needs to be strained a little more, or I could just dump it directly into my bowl of pasta. Oh, still boiling. So I would love to hear in the comments or smoke signals, or maybe you can send me like a psychic message if it's just what you're thinking. But does everyone here love what they do for a living? And what do you do for a living if you work outside of the home, or if you work in your home? A lot of us are working in our homes these days, either because of COVID or just because that's, you know, kind of the way of the future. I mean, I don't know, we could do a lot of things from our home, right? There are just so many ways we can connect with people without having to actually see them. And maybe that's a good thing and a bad thing, I don't know. So what do you do? Where do you work? And if you work, did you go into an office before the pandemic? And if so, how do you like working from home? Do you miss going into the office at all? Would you like to get back? Would you like it to be some kind of hybrid model? Oh, you might hear my dishwasher. I just turned the dishwasher on because that's what real people do. But yeah, like, tell me more about what you want to see the working future look like. 20 seconds to go, yay. I'll give it one last stir. Oh, I'm almost done. This is exciting, huh? Friday's not excited, really. If you could look into her heart and your mind, you'd know that she knows she's going to get a piece of pasta. We are done, so I'm going to turn the water off. I'm going to take some of this pasta. You want a little bit of that starch. Okay, I think that's all we'll use. So let's, oh, I made a mess. Ugh, lost it again. You know what I would love if I had it and I don't? I would love to put some spring onions on top, or scallions, or whatever you like to call them, but that would be delicious and a nice pop of color. But what I do have, and this is colorful too, are these red onions that I mentioned earlier. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few on top. And I am going to... Come here, Fry. Friday, she can't hear anymore. She's 12. And, oh, hey. She can hear a little, but I don't know. I think it's selective hearing. So I'm going to give her some... All right. Mix this all together. Give it a second. Let that butter melt just a bit. Well, some green onions would really do the trick. Should just add some sea salt. Oh. Use the fine pour. And that's it. All right. Gonna take a bite. That's good. It's salty. It's creamy. You can taste the tuna, but it doesn't taste, fishy at all. The red onion gives it a nice sharpness. The pasta, it's still firm, but it's not too firm. I like cooking the full recommendation on the Barilla boxes. Barilla is my favorite pasta. Highly recommend it. And, I know it's been around for a long time. Might not be the hottest pasta out there, but it's good. And, yeah, I mean, it's the right amount of firmness without being too firm or too mushy. Oh, this tastes good. Definitely something to make at home on one of those days where, you're by yourself. You just want something comforting. You're not trying to impress anyone. You just want to taste something that tastes good. And, you can eat things like pasta, and you like things like tuna fish. So it's cheap, it's easy. It didn't take me very long to make it, except to the extent that I had to wait for some water to boil. All right, so enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. Give this a like, give it a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, do all those things that they say at the end of the... So enjoy your pasta and enjoy your day.